So, this is a moment I've waited on for a very long time. Listen, you can go look at any of my channel history. You'll see that I think Rudy Gobert not only is the most overplayed pair, he's overplayed, actually. That should be said that he's overplayed, both in the media and on the court. He gets played too much. He's the most overpaid player in the NBA when you compare the fact that he's only 15 guys make more money than Rudy Gobert. He was the worst player on the floor for Utah. He's been the worst player on the floor for Utah every single playoffs for the last 5 years. Rudy Gobert has never shot over 70% from the free throw line. Rudy Gobert has never made a three-point shot. Rudy Gobert has never made a shot from more than 15 feet on a consistent basis. Rudy Gobert misses layups when the whistle has been, the play has been blown dead by the referee. He still misses point-blank layups. He misses dunks over 6'2" players. He gets afraid of shooting the ball because he knows if he gets fouled, he's going to miss at least one free throw. And even if he doesn't get fouled, he's probably going to miss the shot. And his teammates in Utah had no faith in him at all and led to them not passing him the ball ever. And listen, I think when Utah got the news from Rudy Gobert that he basically gave him the ultimatum of it's either me or Donovan Mitchell, that was the best news that Utah ever could have received. Because the fact that that story came out made it to where Rudy Gobert's value automatically dipped. Because teams around the NBA knew if this guy's unhappy in the first place, Utah runs the risk of having a guy that doesn't play if they don't trade him. And then you bundle all that together, and you get the trade that Minnesota packages together for Rudy Gobert. Like I said, the worst player on Utah's court for the last 4 years in the playoffs. A key reason as to why they have always been a disappointing team in the playoffs. The 16th highest paid player in the NBA, the guy who is probably responsible for Quinn Snyder quitting the job in Utah, he gets traded to Minnesota for not only picks and players. He gets traded for 4 future first-round picks, this year's 2022 first-round pick, Walker Kessler, a young, good player in Malik Beasley, a very good defensive-minded point guard in Patrick Beverley, who that move solidifies that Pat Bev is going to be alongside Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt, and Pat Bev is going to take the defensive assignment while Donovan Mitchell scores. Jared Vanderbilt, who I already see now is going to step in for Rudy Gobert and be the immediate upgrade that they need from Rudy Gobert. Like, what is Minnesota thinking? Look, Minnesota had a chance, and this deal is so bad on so many fronts of where are you going to get all this money to pay D'Angelo, Cat, Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards when his contract is up? How are you going to fill out this roster that was already very, very thin, and you're relying on guys like Jordan McLaughlin and Naz Reid and guys who are not very good to be key pieces in your rotation? What does this do for Minnesota? Your offense isn't getting better. It's getting much worse because you're trading one of your better shooters in Malik Beasley. You're trading one of your better energy guys in Jared Vanderbilt. You're trading your best defensive point guard, best defensive guard in Patrick Beverley. You're trading Walker Kessler, who knows, he could be a key rotational piece on the playoff team. We don't know yet. And you're trading 4 future first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, who is 30 years old at this point and probably has 3 years left before we automatically write him off. I've already written him off. You can look at any video I've made about Rudy Gobert in the last however many videos I've made. I have slandered Rudy Gobert. I've disrespected Rudy Gobert. I've hated on Rudy Gobert. I don't care how you want to put it. Rudy Gobert is the most overpaid, overplayed, overhyped player in my generation of basketball players. I've been alive almost 23 years. Rudy Gobert is probably the worst $30 million plus a year guy I've ever seen in NBA history. And Minnesota just traded 5 first-round picks and 3 good players for that. Minnesota traded 8 assets for Rudy Gobert. And the Atlanta Hawks got DeJounte Murray, an all-star, and a guy who took a San Antonio Spurs team who has nothing. He took that team to possibly making the playoffs. And Atlanta traded for him for 3 first-round picks. You're telling me Rudy Gobert is worth 8 assets at almost 30 years old? DeJounte Murray is worth 3 assets at 24, 25 years old? What is Minnesota doing? There's no... And DeJounte Murray makes $17 million a year compared to the $35 to $40 million that Rudy Gobert makes right now. What is... Oh, my God. Like, this is the worst trade in NBA history, right? Like, there's not a worse player I think has ever been traded for more assets or as many assets. I'm sorry, Minnesota. Your team was budding. Your team was really emerging as something last year. Your team was really looking good. And I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I'm so sorry that your team's front office and ownership has their heads in their ass. I'm really sorry. This is the death of the Minnesota Timberwolves as a franchise. This really is. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been rumored to be moving from Minnesota or have their team relocated. This is the kind of move where you look at it in 5 to 10 years. I'm not going to be surprised if the Minnesota Timberwolves are not in Minnesota anymore in 10 years because of this kind of move. They just mortgaged the future. They mortgaged their present on Rudy Gobert. Not Kevin Durant, not Bradley Beal, not Damian Lillard, not Brandon Ingram, not LeBron James, not Anthony Davis, not Kyrie Irving, not Russell Westbrook, not anybody but Rudy Gobert, who is not even a I'm just going to say it. He's not a top 50 guy in the NBA right now, and he just got traded for 8 assets. I'm really sorry, Minnesota fans, but this is the death of your franchise.